So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 healthy habits for healing codependency in relationships. And if you're new, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist and a recovering codependent myself, so I totally get it. You're in the right place. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 ways you're going to be able to stop being codependent by developing these little micro mini habits that are going to help you recover from codependency. So the first healthy habit I want you to develop is to practice putting your needs first. You care so much, you have a huge heart, but you're constantly surveying your environment for what other people are doing rather than looking at what you need in any given situation. So this doesn't mean you're going to stop giving. You're still going to be able to preserve that big heart of yours, but you need to include yourself in that generosity. And one way I want you to do that is when you get up in the morning or at the end of each day, I want you to ask yourself, what are some of those things that you want to do for yourself? Do you need to spend time with friends? Do you want to have some alone time? What are those things that can put you in touch with what you want and what you need on any given day? Because I don't know about you, but for me, I'm really good at knowing what other people need, but it took a long time for me to figure out what I need. And that's what I want for you. If this is resonating, say me too in the comments. You're in the right place. So the second healthy habit I want you to start developing this year is to set boundaries by saying no more often. This could be little micro commitments that normally you say yes to, but I want you to say no. I'm sorry, I don't have time to do that. Or if somebody asks you for a favor, do less than what you would normally do. That still counts as a no because you're not giving up all your time and energy. And that's why boundaries are so important in codependency recovery, is because they preserve our time and our energy. And if you're spending all your time and energy helping other people out, you're probably not doing enough for yourself in your own life, which can lead to a lot of anxiety and just feeling blah about life because you're really good at making other people happy, but you're not good at making yourself happy. And that's what I want for you. And part of saying no is letting go of the guilt that you're selfish or you're being self-centered or it's not okay to say no. Because let's face it, everybody else in your life is most likely saying no, and you're not judging them for it. So I don't want you to judge yourself for wanting to say no or wanting to do less, because you're a super giver most likely if you're listening to this video, because part of codependency is having a huge heart. But one way to preserve that generosity is to give yourself some of that by saying no. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down a few areas where you want to say no to people in your life, whether it's friends, family, volunteer positions, anywhere that you tend to volunteer or give a lot of your time and energy. I want you to think about what are those things that you want to start saying no to. Even if you're doing 70% instead of 100, that's a starting point, and that's recovery. Now, the next healthy habit I want you to develop to heal codependency in relationships is identify those situations or people where you need to detach. And detaching is basically letting someone else have their life without interfering. It also helps when somebody is doing something annoying or particularly challenging for you, like maybe they're not treating you well, or they're yelling, or they're talking too much. What I want you to do is practice detachment. And one way to do that is to simply remove yourself. Leave the room, get off the phone, stay silent instead of interject your opinion. Because when we're detaching, you're choosing to not participate in that behavior, whatever it is that that other person is doing. It's most likely bugging you. So instead of staying and trying to fix it or change it, which is where our codependency comes in, I want you to just detach and simply start to energetically or physically remove yourself from the other person's situation. This is super helpful when somebody is angry or not treating you well, or maybe you disagree on something that's really important to you. And instead of getting in there and trying to change it, you're going to just back up and detach and let that other person have what they have, because that's one way to preserve your sanity in toxic relationships. Now, the next healthy habit I want you to develop for healing codependency in relationships is I want you to practice letting go more often, because codependent people like myself have a hard time traditionally letting go of anything. of people, of situations, of outcomes, we feel overly responsible for all of it. And that's where we lose our energy, and that's where we start to get kind of anxious in social situations because we can't let go and just be in the moment. So what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what are some things that you could let go of this year that might belong to somebody else, that might not be your responsibility at all? Because let's face it, the only thing you're responsible for is your actions and your behavior. Everything outside of you is something you can't control. Even if that's your family, your kids, your job, your position at work, you can't control the outcome. And the more I started realizing that, the freer I felt and the more relaxed I was in my own body. Because I realized I wasn't having to carry that responsibility of other people anymore. And that's what I want for you, is to realize that by practicing letting go of the day, of what somebody else is going to do, of the outcome of a certain party that you want to have, whatever those little micro commitments are, I want you to practice how you can start to let go of that. And even this week, one of the prompts I'm going to give you is what doesn't belong to you or what doesn't serve you anymore. Those are the prompts I want you to focus on. So the next healthy habit I want you to develop for healing codependency in relationships is I want you to start being more mindful of who you're in relationship with. Who are the types of people you tend to attract? Because that is going to give you really good information for what you want in the coming year. So for instance, do you tend to attract someone who's self-centered or narcissistic, or somebody that only calls you when they want something? So you basically have more one-sided codependent relationships than ones that are healthy. Because what we want to do is we want to take stock of who is in our life right now. And I'm going to link to my relationship checklist in the description because that guide is going to walk you through more specifically how to do that. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to think about who is supportive in your life. Who are the people that are fun to hang out with, that really honor your boundaries and really allow you to be who you are? Those are the people we want to highlight because those are the people you want to actually spend more time cultivating relationships with, the people who do love and care about you in a healthy way. Because the clearer you are on the kind of person you attract, the more you're going to be able to start looking at attracting someone better. For me, I know I tend to attract charismatic women who tend to be self-centered. And I started shifting that years ago, and it made a huge difference in the quality of friendships that I have in my life because I knew my type. And that's what the checklist is going to help you do, is to assess who is in your life that you want to keep and who are those relationships that you want to start distancing yourself from, because that is going to be a really healthy habit for you in the coming year. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to go watch my video on how to become your own best friend, because that is a core ingredient in codependency recovery. Thanks so much.